why the Snyderverse failed. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? It's your boy Hercules, and we are back at it again. This time I wanted to take a little moment and give you my opinion of why I think the DCEU, or how I call it, the Snyderverse failed. Specifically focusing on the Snyderverse, not this newer, even though it still kind of takes place sort of in the Snyderverse, you get what I'm talking about. Why the DCEU failed, or why the Snyderverse failed. Let's be honest, the Snyderverse had an incredible casting. Henry Cavill as Superman was perfect. Gal Gadot was amazing as Wonder Woman. And Ben Affleck, if he ain't number one or number two best Batman in your list, you are crazy. Jason Momoa was good, and Ezra Miller was, I would say decent, but he wasn't the best casting. But we'll get to that in a little bit. So why did this fail? Why did this universe fail? Well, to me, it's a very simple reason. They were trying to catch up to Marvel Studios. And I get it. I hear it. I can already hear people saying it, jumping down in the comments saying, well, no, it's not because of that. It's because we got a very dark Superman. It's because we got a very dark Batman. We got a very dark universe. It's not because of that. You can think it's because of that, but it's not because of that. Listen to why I think it's not that. So, from where I truly believe is they were trying to catch up to Marvel Studios, or the MCU, however you want to call it. And we had the likes of Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman, that had a very specific style, a Zack Snyder style. Then we had, in my opinion, the best version of the Justice League, which was Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I can care less what people say. Oh my God, 4 hours is so long. Shut the fuck up. You sit down and you watch Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3. You can binge watch that and you're okay. So I don't want to hear it. So, to me, the story was there. In the Zack Snyderverse, his story was there. His vision was clear. But a lot of people hated it for many reasons, which is fine. You can hate it. You can hate it because Superman wasn't as this goody good, save a cat from the tree kind of superhero. He was more grounded, more realistic, if you really want to be honest. But it's okay. If you compare these films to the first MCU films, the DCEU, or the Snyderverse, were actually doing a lot better. They were doing a lot better. But since they couldn't break that 1 billion mark, that box office notch of $1 billion, WB or DC Studios leadership started changing plans, from trying to change Zack Snyder's Justice League, which they did get that under some horrible family issues that Zack Snyder was facing, which was his daughter taking her own life, which is sad. They changed it to Joss Whedon, and we all know how that turned out. But also remember the Suicide Squad. The first couple trailers we got, it looked like this was gonna be a very dark film, a very outgoing film, but it was gonna stay into the same style of Zack Snyder. Even the director says they were more the original film was more closer to the Snyderverse than what the new or the last theater or the, I guess you could say, the re-edited version was by the suits. When it came to Wonder Woman, we saw the change in Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman, the original, was a great film. It was the first time I could sit down and watch a Wonder Woman film. It was great. Was it a masterpiece? No. But it had the same feel, and it felt like you were going into this journey, and it felt like you were watching something that Snyder was doing, or at least had the same template as Snyder did. When it came to Wonder Woman 84, you saw a big change in the style, in the acting, in the way they portray Wonder Woman. It just felt like they were trying to do the Marvel template, the MCU template, and it didn't work. And the box office showed for that. Now you can say it's because of the COVID or the same day release, and none of those are wrong answers at all. Now, when you had the Gunn Suicide Squad film, it was an okay film, but it still felt like it wasn't connected to that universe. Even though it had characters that were from that universe, it just felt like an out of place film because it had the same template as a Marvel film. It had the same template as a Guardians of the Galaxy, as a James Gunn movie, and it didn't fit in that universe. So it didn't get you excited for anything to come because it was just different. Now they would throw in hints there of Bloodsport was the first guy to wound Superman with a kryptonite bullet, which we never saw anything like that. We never got mentioned anything like that. We never got the payoff for that. Then we were given even though I think the way I'm talking, the way these films came out was different, but you understand why I'm going like this. We got something that was very horrible, was Birds of Prey. If you guys remember, Birds of Prey was the first time DC started doing the woke BS. And Birds of Prey was a complete trash movie. And we all know why. They took a beloved character of Black Mass. And they massacred this man. They turned this man into a gay man. They turned freaking Zaz into a gay man. They pushed all these political agendas into this film, and guess what? It felt horrible. Not as horrible as The Flash, but close enough. When it came to Aquaman, it hit $1 billion, but it still had that. It still had a little bit of the Snyder cut, but it had James Wan style, his uniqueness of how he films his movies and stuff like that. And even though there were some moments where Jason Momoa was trying too much, my man, or he would do things that to me felt like he shouldn't be doing, but he also did stuff like that in the couple films that he was working for Snyder. So I understood why they kept that style. Even though he's not the Aquaman that I would have gone with, but I understand why they decided to go with something like that. Now, to me, I don't know if Zack Snyder really went into like political stuff. I know now he does kind of, and it sucks that he does, but back then I don't remember him being like, oh well, we need a Hawaiian kind of guy, Samoan type of guy to be Aquaman because of the ocean and stuff like that. I never remember hearing anything like that, but you never know. You never know. Again, I don't know how this film hit $1 billion, but it did. It did. But whenever we got the Zack Snyder Justice League, yes, it was 4 hours. You can sit down and watch something 4 hours straight. It's okay, your butt's gonna take it. Just make sure you go to a nice, sweet movie theater. When it came to the Zack Snyder release cut or director's cut or whatever you want to call it, I think the reason why they never released it in theaters, it's not because they thought it would never make money. It's because they didn't want it to make money. I truly believe they didn't want it to make money. Now, am I sitting here saying that the Snyderverse was $1 billion? It was a $10 billion hit. That how can you get rid of something that was very successful or stuff like that? No, it wasn't. Compared to Avengers Endgame or Spider-Man No Way Home or Avengers Infinity War, anything like that, it wasn't to that level. But yet again, these were the beginning of this universe. DC, WB, and the leadership were touching everything. They were trying to change stuff. They were trying to take away Zack Snyder. They were trying to take away these types of characters, this storyline, this and that. And I understand when people say, well, leadership and other companies do stuff like this too. Yes, they do. I'm not saying they don't. But when you have a very strong vision like Zack Snyder had, which was a very greedy, dark vision, which was incredible to me. The only reason why I even became a fan of Superman was because of Zack Snyder's Superman. When you take that character and then you quickly try to change this whole world into more of a flamboyant, more of a goody-goody, it doesn't work. You lose the core audience that were gonna go watch it. And the people that didn't care about that universe, they're not gonna go watch it. But then when they hear, oh, it's very different from the other films, they'll go watch it. And if you don't hit the marks that they like, they're not gonna support it either. I think that is the reason why the DCEU fell, why the Snyderverse fell. It wasn't because of Zack Snyder's vision or stories or casting or anything like that. It was the suits that were running the company, touching and editing these films to oblivion. And it didn't work. Now, if the Snyderverse would have made billions of dollars, we would have still seen his films. But hey, stuff like that doesn't happen. The first Iron Man movie didn't make $1 billion. It took them 5 or 6 films to finally hit $1 billion, and then after that, their other films didn't hit $1 billion either. It took another big film to hit $1 billion. So not every film does 1 billion. Only a very small percentage of films do. You would think a BVS, Batman vs Superman, would do big numbers, and guess what? It did big numbers. It got close to the $1 billion mark, but it's whatever. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.